Hello everyone, happy Monday. It's great to be here today. Each week we kind of deliver us into the next week in a way, just to keep us conscious and aware and open and seeing possibilities, trying and doing our best to stay in the thriving mindset. And I go back a few weeks to when we did are you interested or are you committed? If I'm going to commit, what does commitment mean to you? Does it mean I'm really interested? Or does it mean I'm committed, which means it could activate that pain of discipline or regret, because some of the things I commit to, I want to learn, I want to do, there needs some discipline so I can improve my skill set, so I can become better at it and not feel like it's so difficult. And these are all things. Now, what is that? Well, that's the belief in self. That's yes, I can if I put my mind to it. Am I going to put my mind to something I am not interested in, let alone committed to? Absolutely not. Do some of us say, I'm very interested, but I don't know if I'm committed. Let me give it a session of my time, which I've done. And let me noodle with this software package, with this electronic device to see if it's something I'm going to move over to the commitment side. 99% of failure comes from people that have the habit, which is also a skill, of making excuses. So it's just the default trigger because we've been doing it so long that, blah, blah, blah. Those people, right? That anything they have failed on, and it's not even, I don't even want to use that word. It's not that big of a deal, but they're late. They're this. They never made the call. They didn't send the email out. They didn't do this. And they have a story instantly instead of the ability to take responsibility, which is a massive. Kristen talks about what gives us the edge, knowing that interest and commitment are two different things, knowing that we're going to pay a price. There's a cost to finding that about ourselves, that we are people that are maybe have some hidden talents and abilities because our eyesight has been changed. It's been low vision, legal blindness to blindness. So that journey of overcoming and starting to tap into ourselves to find out where we do shine could be just one of the better skills, better abilities we have of problem solving. I would say that most people with legal blindness are excellent problem solvers because there's a lot of them to solve. And it's not even looking at them as problems. It's like, how can I? What do I need to do to move through this, around this, over it? And that to me was when I was interviewing for all those years. I didn't say, tell me one of the times you did something successfully. And what was one of the times you did something that you failed at, how would you have done that differently? I just didn't do that, boilerplate type of interview. I say, what's your favorite band? No. And I more looked at, how do you solve living in a positive mindset each day with your blindness? Well, actually, it's not my top of mind. I don't think about my blindness as an adversity, as a problem. I look at what I'm looking to do that day and how I can best move through that day without giving the power back to my blindness. That's a ding, 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 ding. That is what I want to hear. That's what I want to believe, and that's how I want to think as I go through my day. And I know people on this call are like that. I know that's why we're mentors, we're students, we're teachers, we're people in a community that want to remember that no matter what, because there's tough days, there's tough situations, there's tough events in our life that can determine that event will determine the outcome depending how we respond to that event. But what gives us the edge? Well, besides blindness, the fact that if we as people can do some that discipline, the pain of discipline. What gives you the edge? When do you get up in the morning? What do you do in the morning before you start your day? Is your calendar planned? Are your calls set? Are you prepared for those calls? Are you rereading your emails? Are you checking punctuation? Are you showing up as a professional? I know that's a lot, but what I'm saying is that person, whether you're any type of disability or perfectly gifted with all your faculties, that person has an advantage over 90% of people out there right there, because they're hitting the pavement. They're not faking it while they make it. They're already there. They're showing up saying, lay it on me. What is it today what problem? Because every day there's a problem. I mean, maybe, I guess, if you stay in bed now, I'd say if you stayed in bed every day, there would be a problem. But so you got to know, the truth of life is there's issues every single day. Let's see. Power surge, a big explosion in my neighborhood. I'm like, interesting. It's not the 4th of July. And then all the power went out. Power came back on. It blew our refrigerator up. It didn't actually. It robbed its life from it. That's a problem. Everything had to be moved. Now, I could have ran down into the basement and sat in the corner and said, it shouldn't have happened to me and all that. But no, because of a mindset and what can I do about this? Well, thankfully, we have a second refrigerator in our basement. You move the things in. But these are like at work. We're going to be confronted with problems a lot. And I don't see them as that. Sure, I mean, we talk about it and we get through it with people, with the team I'm on and all that. And I know for a fact that I had 12 people working for me, and like 10 of them were legally blind or blind. So we were the blind leading the blind. And we always used to say that in a very positive way. And we were proud of that. And I was interviewed by a newspaper once. I said, I'm very prejudiced. No, maybe not. Whatever the word is when you're hiring people, I'm not inclusive. I said, if you have good hearing, good eyesight, and you can drive, there's probably not a good chance you're getting a job here. I said, because my customers, the people we're serving, cannot relate to you as well as they can relate to people that are doing their best each day to thrive. And I made a joke about it, and they thought it was great. Nobody got harsh on me because they printed the dang thing. I forget, when you open your mouth to a reporter, they love the bad stuff more than the good stuff. Well, I didn't see it as bad. So, I wanted to help people see inside of them, because there were 10, 12 years of my life. I did not see the good in me. I didn't see any advantages. All I saw was what was wrong. I can't drive. I'll never be able to. I can't see people. How am I going to navigate? How am I going to get around? What's the use anyway? I'm not smart enough. I didn't get a degree. I could have wrote a book on the problem, which wasn't outside of me. I thought it was. It was me. And I want you to say, I wanted the people that worked with me and the people we worked with that came in for help. It's like, but so here's a good statement I use. I would say, I understand that the doctor couldn't fix you. I get it. I have that same doctor, even though he has a different last name. They have no pair of glasses. I get it. I don't understand why they can't just give us a new pair of glasses. They can, but they won't work. It's unfortunate, but it's science. And, well, why didn't the doctor do this or that? Why didn't the Lions, I don't mean to use a name, but the nonprofit, the place I went to, why did they make me wait 4 months for a meeting, an appointment? Why? So they're getting hit with all this roadblocks that they don't know how to move through. So they came in, I said, all right, is it possible to move that to the side? Can you, everything you think you know about your disease and the fact that your life is over, basically. And could you do me a favor and move that to the side and just take a fresh look at this? And let me show you how it could be possible that you could read back then it was the TV guide, the Bible, their mail. People, and they would bring in bags. I'd ask them to bring in the newspapers, the magazines, what books and things at their house they're no longer to access. People used to bring in remote controls, all sorts of really cool stuff. And I always could get them seeing. This is low vision, obviously. I was working a ton with seniors in low vision. And I'd say, now, could you just open your mind to the possibilities that you could see all this stuff, and just allow me without any judgment to take you on a journey through my store? And they would say, yeah, okay, because I'm using what my advantage is. I've been where they are. Nobody could tell me anything. You couldn't tell me that there's a better way. You could live an independent, happy, productive life. I would have said, shut up. You're a sighted person. You're stupid. I couldn't see past. No one ever framed it in a way to help me move it to the side. And that's what I was doing. And it was so cool. 9 out of 10 of them would walk out of my store with their bag and with equipment to help them on their journey. Now because I saw this I found within me a strength, an inner ability to speak to the mind that the person walked in with, gradually move them into the thriving mindset, sell them product, which never was my biggest concern, and then help them along their journey. There was almost a $25,000 price tag on the top of everyone that walked in my head, if they stayed alive long enough. Because they would buy 2 to 3 CCTVs, they would buy daily living aids. Why? And they would refer people. They now have awakened that what Kristen initially said in the beginning was, they moved from, people that we work with, they're not even interested, let alone committed. They're frustrated. They're blocked. They're angry. So then I move them into interested. Can I at least get you interested, but I use different words, to have a willingness and an open mind just to listen and just let me see if I can help you. And once I can open the door of willingness a little, I can move them to, they are now committed to sitting there and working with me. And because of that, they become evangelists. They want to give away this thing that woke up inside of them, which they had all along, but getting beat up by doctors, and not really, but that's what they thought, getting beat up by the system that really wasn't qualified to help them in the way they needed. And I think that's where we can shine in all types of people too. Those of us who've been through some tough stuff in life is one, and we get to the other side, or we're moving to the other side, we can become of service in a great way. So put me in a corporation, put me in interviews, put me on a team. I can do all that. It's not, hey man, can you guys, make sure you have all this for me, and I'm blind and I need this. And it's never that. It's always, how can I listen and serve in a way? And many times I've done things in my life, people didn't even know I had a vision impairment, or they wouldn't believe it at times too. It's like, no, really? Yeah. I guess, but that doesn't really matter, because what they saw in me was this advantage. And I don't mean I'm better than, it means I've tapped into a skill, something I didn't have to work hard, as in I didn't have to, as back to discipline, as a contrast to regret. The discipline of getting up, doing certain things exercising, eating. I mean, those are all disciplines that have turned into habits. But because of those harder disciplines, things I didn't want to do, I didn't want to turn them into skill sets. But those enabled me to become better at so many other things in my life. So that's about what I have for today's wonderful call.